Guys, what's good? What's good? So guys, just a quick video. Amir Khan's come out today and he's warned Crawford, saying that I don't think Crawford should fight. By the way, guys, just before I get into it, I've been really ill. Had a really bad flu. Or I had really bad hay fever because it's been so hot in the UK that I'm a mess. So you probably look at me and think, well, what's wrong with this guy? Just a little bit ill, just because of the heat, the hay. I've got bad hay fever, you know, the pollen coming up my nose and stuff. It really irritates me. But yeah, back to this. So I wanted to discuss what Amir Khan said. Amir Khan said that Terence Crawford, you know, should stay away from Canelo Alvarez. He goes, I fought Canelo in my peak. By the way, I don't agree with that. I don't think Amir fought Canelo in his peak. I think he was on the slide at that point, but he was pretty inactive. If you look at it, the fight before he had against Chris Algierian, that was almost a year prior to that. So I think Khan was kind of sliding to the other side of his career when he fought Canelo. But having said that, he was more in his prime than he was against Crawford. But he basically said, when I went up there and I couldn't do it, and I don't think even Crawford, as good as he is, I don't think he'll do it. And a lot of people have come out and criticized Khan, saying he thinks he's on the same level as Crawford. He's not. He's got a glass jaw, this, that, the other. I mean, people chatting a lot of crap about Khan. When Khan has always appreciated Crawford and always said good things about Crawford. But what he's basically saying is it doesn't matter how good you are. Like, look, people don't understand, right? Amir Khan was Amir Khan had a better style to beat Canelo than Crawford. Because when have you seen like Amir Khan could box? He had fast hands, in and out, in and out. That's how he used to fight. That was his style. That was always going to give Canelo Alvarez trouble to a certain point. The problem is with Khan that he can't keep that up. There's going to be a point in the fight because Khan doesn't control the pace, and Canelo was so much bigger. Canelo was going to hit him with shots, slow him down. And Khan eventually tires later on down the line. Anyone with that style would tire and becomes more hittable down the line. But Khan actually had a style which could have caused an upset because he could have boxed in and out. And if he had managed to make it 12 rounds, it would have been very interesting. And I think he would have had a great chance of outpointing Canelo. But Canelo broke him down. He started to hit the body, slow him down, and eventually, you know, Khan got slower and then Canelo stopped him. But the point I'm trying to make is this, that Crawford hasn't really got a style to beat Canelo. You're not going to box on the out. Crawford doesn't box. Crawford's an offensive fighter. He's not a defensive fighter like Mayweather. Crawford attacks. If you look at Crawford, he's hittable. He's not a guy that's there. And if you look at a lot of the guys that he's beaten through knocking him out. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I don't think he's going to knock Canelo out, right? So then it comes down to the fact that, do I think that he's going to be able to outbox Canelo for 12 rounds in a way which Mayweather did and Bivol did? But he's not that type of fighter. He's not a defensive fighter. When have you ever seen Crawford be a defensive wizard where he's on the back foot? Like, he's not that type of fighter. Don't get me wrong, Crawford can do it all. But to be that disciplined for 12 rounds, he'd have to be disciplined and walk a tightrope for 12 rounds. That's very difficult to do, bro. That is very, very difficult to do. Very, very difficult to do. Let's not forget, there's not many fighters that have done that. Even Mayweather wasn't on a tightrope. Firstly, Mayweather is a defensive genius, right? Secondly, at that point, Canelo wasn't exactly in his prime. Canelo wasn't a seasoned fighter at that point. Doesn't matter how many fights he had. That's irrelevant. He wasn't at championship level. It wasn't, the fights that he had weren't at championship level consistently. You know, his resume at that point was fairly weak. The list of champions that he had fought weren't exceptional at that point. The point I'm trying to make is that Canelo's developed his game. But when they say Bivol did it, Bivol was way bigger than Canelo. So, to be a smaller fighter, right? And Lara, for example, Lara's style was always going to cause Canelo trouble. Lara had that style. Crawford doesn't have that style. Crawford is an offensive fighter. When have you ever seen Crawford fight? Like, Crawford's fights are pretty exciting to be honest, because he's an offensive fighter. Any fighter that's an offensive... I mean, Amir Khan's fights were quite exciting because he's an offensive fighter. Any fighter that is an offensive fighter, his fights are going to be exciting. But Amir Khan hits the nail on the head where he says that you can't do it. You just can't do it. And Crawford, not so much... Like, Khan was probably just coming like a smaller fighter, just can't beat Canelo, which I agree with. But with Crawford, I just don't think, in my opinion, he's going to be able to outbox Canelo for 12 rounds. You know, and that's what he'd have to do. That's very, very difficult to do, man. Very, very difficult. Honestly, you know, you'd have to be like a master tactician to do something like that. It's very, very difficult. Very difficult. So, yeah, I can't see that happening. Look, I like Canelo. I like Crawford. You know, and I would say right now Crawford's the best fighter in the world. But you've got to be realistic here. You've got to be realistic. In my opinion, it's just not happening. It's just not happening. So, yeah, leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think about what Khan had to say. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.